weird. It is January 7th of 2023. I don't know if Johnny fixed that either.
Whoa.
Yes, I did.
All right, just messing with him.
It's been a hectic morning. We apologize, folks.
It's been a busy morning. Sorry we're running late. We were supposed to go live at 9:30. Then we adjusted it to 9. Then we moved it back to 9:15.
Oh my God.
You.
You split the difference.
There's a hot dude in chat. Oh.
You know, they say you either, if you want to wear black shoes and your wife's telling you to wear brown, the best way to handle it,
Wear gray.
you know what you do is you wear one brown shoe, one black shoe.
Jesus Christ.
And that's how you deal with
anywhere
it.
you go. That's
Compromise. That's the 9:15 show today.
Drive off a bridge.
All right,
You'll be happier.
That being said, since we are crazy weirdos at 9 o'clock in the morning with drinks and us and energy drinks, let's get into this today. We have a few things to cover. We're going to go over the updates on Damar Hamlin. We're going to talk about the NFL and what they're doing with the Cincy Buffalo game. We're going to talk a little bit of Bo betting today.
Oh, yeah.
Get into the games, and we have the guess the player for everybody. So I think that's kind of it for us on this show. It's probably going to be a long show because we have 16 games to go over. You got 2 on Saturday and 14 games on Sunday. 2 games which may not be played. You never know.
And they couldn't apparently find time to make up that one game.
Oh,
right.
We'll do it live.
So this is an update for everybody on Damar Hamlin. As from what we've seen through Twitter and through close friends and family of Damar, they've announced that he's doing well. He has got the breathing tube out. He's got motor function. He's got cognitive function, which is very good for this kid. Hopefully, he walks away without a scratch in the end. To be honest, insane. That would be the hope, right?
It was 9 minutes dead, right?
Administered in under a minute of him being out, so that's huge. That's huge. However, it is. I mean, like, still. So say it was 9 minutes, right? Say they had to perform CPR for 9 minutes. It's still like 20% that he ever is normal again. Well, I mean, this dude's making miraculous comeback. It's unheard of.
The positive side to this is that he showed cognitive function of being able to write.
I can't get past his first question, dude.
He can connect brain function with his actual motor skills, which is the positive side of it.
What was his first thing he wrote down when he woke up?
Are you going to create a T-shirt or no?
I'm looking to do it, okay?
Looking is going to be too late.
Listen, I have a lot to do, okay? I will try.
Right, so we have a T-shirt idea. If anybody takes it, good luck to you out there. The goal was to put on a T-shirt his first words that he wrote.
All you got to do is go copyrighted.
Copyright, quote unquote, Damar.
I don't know if it's that good.
Works.
We're here first, right?
His first question he wrote down because he couldn't speak yet was, "Did we win?"
Yep. And that should be put on a shirt.
Timestamp.
Who
Look.
won the game, yeah.
Or who won.
Yeah.
He was asking who won the game. That's unbelievable, dude.
So, yeah.
Love it.
And that being said, that moves me right into our next statement
to
start off the day. Is the Cincinnati versus Buffalo game, which the NFL announced that they are canceling that game. And we're going to probably get into a little more later what that means for the NFL here on out. But first things first, we're going to go to Steve and get news and rumors for the day.
All right. Do I get intro music? You know, like drums, you know? Oh, man, we should do that. We should do that. I'm not cool enough. See, there it is. Thank you. That's all I wanted. You know, is that too much? Come on. Yeah, there we go.
News, your news coming from Steve.
Now we're starting to sound like Jamming 92.3.
Tell us from the chopper, Steve. What are you seeing?
Hold on, what is that? We need a
Oh, that hits us hard as Browns fans. He was the last Cleveland Brown to be on cover of Madden because all of Cleveland was like, listen, we don't have anything going for us, so we're going to vote for this dude, and that's what happened.
I mean, he continued the Madden curse.
Yeah, he did.
The only Browns player to be on the cover?
Yeah.
Kelly said no sound. Can you check to make sure that we got sound going in the...
Interesting.
She just said it's back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Did you?
It was probably
Probably the mixer overloaded.
Yeah, with all that silly intro, loved it.
All right, what else we got?
Jimmy G's pacing for late playoff return, so he's going to come back. He's going to stomp Green Bay again.
Why when Brock Purdy's doing what Jimmy G already did?
I don't disagree. I like Brock Purdy. Anyway, Jadeveon Clowney. Did you hear about this? He's 95% sure he's leaving Cleveland. It's okay, though, because the Browns were 100% sure that he was going home that day, and they did. They sent his ass packing. So I wouldn't expect him in Browns.
That was a good joke.
Browns uniform. You like that?
That was a good
You like
joke.
that? You damn right. You damn right.
Very off the cuff.
DeMar Hamlin. I have one thing to say. The show must go on. You know,
I think DeMar agrees.
I think so. How do you wake up the first thing you say? Hey, man, did we win?
Did he say it or did he write it down?
He had to write it down.
Yeah.
He still had a tube in his mouth. Or in his, down,
At that time, he was still on the writing machine.
Yeah, but he's off that now. So, like, he's making crazy comebacks. And then I just have we got Hall of Fame finalists. I just want to brief over that just in case somebody saw that. So there's 15 finalists named off. You got Joe Thomas, who's tackle for the Browns. Darrelle Revis, cornerback for a whole bunch of teams. Dwight Freeney, defensive end, who, I mean, growing up, we all saw him play. He was defensive end for the Colts. Albert Lewis, he was a cornerback.
I like Lunars.
Lunars, is that what I said? Jared Allen, he's D-end. Willie Anderson was a tackle. Rondé Barber, we all remember Rondé Barber, he was a cornerback. Devin Hester, wide receiver, punt returner. Arguably greatest punt returner of all time. Torrey Holt, he's whatever. Torrey Holt, you know. I know John's got a soft spot for Torrey. That's why I made that comment. Andre Johnson, Zach Thomas. Zach Thomas was overdue, in my opinion. I think he should have been in a while back. What are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
I feel of these.
Yeah, emotions.
Of the 25, Torrey Holt was one of the statistically better wide receivers.
That's not true anyway.
Congratulations on feeling that way.
Yeah, congratulations on not being able to read stats. DeMarcus Ware.
There are others that should have been over other wide receivers.
I mean, the guys that I picked when we talked about it earlier in the year, all five got in. All five got in.
We'll get into that in the offseason.
DeMarcus Ware, who I think should be in. Reggie Wayne, Patrick Willis, and Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson's just now getting in.
Well, I'll give you.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I'll give you one that I don't think should be in there.
Okay.
And that they are. And I don't think that they deserve it.
Currently in.
Currently, no, not in on that list.
Okay.
That should not get a jacket. And that's Patrick Willis.
I agree, but I was a big fan.
I just don't see the pedigree for this guy's. Like, when you look at a Hall of Famer, longevity is a thing, and he made a business decision to say, I don't want a jacket, I want my health. Some guys paid the ultimate price, and they put on their line their life for another 5 or 6 years after the 7 years. So, you know, you look at Ray, and he's a 13 All-Pro.
Yep.
13-year All-Pro. This guy's 7. He's half that. So if he's half the linebacker that Ray Lewis was for his longevity, the gold jacket has to mean something.
I agree.
And unfortunately, I love Patrick Willis and everything he did when he played.
I agree.
But the fact that he didn't play for, to prove it factor, to be the 1% of the 1% of the 1%.
Yep.
Right? And we have to have some standards. And I don't think he fit.
You said 7, right?
You got one more 1%.
Yeah. He doesn't.
1% of the 1% of the 1%.
It's for 1%.
7
because they're the
7
1%
of 7.
of the NFL.
He went 7 for 7. I'm not going to take that away from him. No. And I'm not taking anything away from his pedigree. I just don't think it's Hall of Fame pedigree. That's just my argument.
It's a good argument.
Here's the thing,
we can move on from this. This will be an off-season argument.
I guess when we get closer to it. I don't know what a Hall of Famer
is. It's a popularity vote. Like me and you've had this conversation.
Yeah.
I
think it's a joke.
We can get into that a little bit in the offseason, though. And there might be some talks about this a little bit later, too.
There you go.
You never know. So
that's all I got for news. So play me out, boys.
All right.
Troy Aikman's I'm not Hall of Fame.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the Hall of Fame that shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree with that.
I think eventually everybody gets in the Hall of Fame personally.
No, there's only a certain amount of time.
Yeah, it's like 15 years after your initial.
No, there's one guy that's 25 years.
Albert Lewis
It's 5
retired in
election.
'98.
I think.
I think it was '98.
You have to be nominated like 5 plus times.
You have to be retired for 5 years before you can be nominated.
Except for Brady, he's just gonna go straight in.
All right, so
already in it.
let's move
He
on
is.
from there.
They're gonna get a
We're
spot.
gonna jump into Bo's betting 101. We're gonna
Let's
get into
do this.
Bo, and since betting just came to Ohio, Bo's gonna break some stuff down for us. Go for it, Bo.
So here we go. I mean, basically, what you're looking at now, if you're an Ohio bettor, is free money. So right now, if you go on some of these applications, there's free money out there. What does that mean? It's double your money bets. You put in whatever you want to, up to a certain amount, you get a promotion, and it comes back, okay? Now let's take a look over here. Betting with Bo Basics. Go back up. There we go. All right. So you'll see here, Detroit plus 4.5. What does that mean? That means they are underdogs, they're handicapped, and they're getting 4.5 points to start the game. Green Bay minus 4.5, meaning the game's starting out. Will you say the same about Luke Kuechly?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where's that laugh?
Ooh,
Sorry, that was
that laugh?
Kelly.
you don't want my laugh.
Come on,
right
give me the snively laugh, the dog laugh.
So that's called against the that's the spread. When someone says, "Hey, what's the spread?" and then they'll say laying the points. What does laying the points mean? It means you're a favorite and you're giving them how many points, right? So that's laying the points. You have a question?
Yeah, I actually do have a question.
What's up?
So this whole Buffalo-Cincinnati game, right? A lot of people bet on this game.
Yep.
Bets were voided.
Could you? They're voided. So
They were voided.
You couldn't buy a point or anything like that to say the game would play. Or
No,
bet
it's
towards that?
avoided. There might have been some off
the cuff bets that were okay.
but none of the sites that were probably doing that.
Okay.
Next, just here's the money line. Okay, plus 188 minus 240. Once again, the plus sign means that they're an underdog. The negative sign means that they're a favorite. So if Detroit's plus 188, that means if you bet $10, you're going to win $18.80.
Okay.
So it's legitimately whatever. If you did 100, it'd be 188. If you did $1, it'd be $1.88. So what about the minus?
Now, does that
240?
include your 100, or is that 188 on top of your 100?
So it would be a payout, right, of the 18 plus 10. So it'd be 28.
Okay, so that includes your 100
You get
back,
your money back
plus
because it's
188
what you
on top of it.
wagered
Okay.
and the money on top. Minus 240. That means you would have to spend $240 to make $100 on that bet. Okay, so if someone is a favorite, like, oh, we know the Eagles money line minus 400, right? I'd have to, because there's not much risk involved, right?
Yeah.
There's not. So you'd say, okay, well, there's not much risk, so you're not going to get as much payout. So you have to risk more of your capital to get the same amount of payout back.
All right.
Now we've got total, over and under, right? Now the over's at minus 108 and the under's at minus 118, which means that the game's more likely to go under, right? Because that's where your odds are at. So you're saying, okay, well, the game's a little bit, right? But it's only a percentage of a percentage. We call that a basis point, right? Of like a tenth. So I was like, okay, the game's more likely to go under 489.5 because of the weather. And that's what Vegas is saying to bet on, or don't bet on, because your odds are better betting the over. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take the over because the odds are better, or I'm going to take the under because it's more likely to happen.
Returns better.
It's up to you. You got to weigh out your risks. So for this game, just for instance, I think that Green Bay's probably going to win this, and I definitely think that they cover by 4.5 easily. But if Detroit keeps it close enough, let's say they hold it within 3, 20-23 Green Bay, right? Detroit would actually win that game. Your bet would hit
because the Green Bay
you got
cover.
plus 4.5. Green Bay did not cover, right? Because Detroit held it within 3.
And that's what you call taking Detroit on the spread.
Right. So that would be Detroit with the points. So you'd say, okay, I'm taking Detroit with the points. If the game final was 23-20 Green Bay, you'd win on your Detroit bet because your actual score would be 24.5 to 23.
So could you actually parlay this in just this game?
Yeah, you could parlay this. It's called a same game parlay, right?
Okay.
So if I was to take,
Well, what does parlay mean?
so parlay is multiple bets in the same ticket. So if you have, it increases your odds.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say Detroit plus 4.5, and I'm going to take the under. Okay. Siri's talking to me.
Oh, talk to me, girl.
So I'm not going to name the site, but I'm going to go to a site that offers this, and I'm going to see what that looks like.
I mean, if you're doing FanDuel coverings, we've been announcing them every time we do stuff.
Yeah,
So, just to let everyone know while Bo's doing that, the numbers I got, I did them this morning. I re-updated it from FanDuel.
Okay, so that's from FanDuel.
So that's from around 7:30 this morning.
That's a live
from
line?
FanDuel. Your live line.
And
Okay.
then every now and then when you see Bo's cam, we're going to have some of Bo's bets on the side. It's just giving you guys that heads up. So that's what those names will be.
Line movement. We need to talk about line movement. Okay. It's important. So the lines typically are out a week in advance, right? Before everybody bets on them. They're out there. Depending on how people bet that game,
We'll move the line.
we'll move the line. If everybody is on the Green Bay to win it, then they're going to say, okay, we've got too much. The odds are too good for Green Bay.
Okay.
Because everyone's betting it. It's like, oh, these are great odds. So they're going to adjust the odds to make the odds worse, so people are more likely to take the Lions to kind of offset,
Okay.
hedge their bet. Or
Now, when
they
you-
want them to bet it, and then the collusion comes in, and the other team wins it.
it's
Bet
just-
against the public, bet with the public. Those are strategies.
Which we were talking about earlier might happen.
Yep.
Yeah, you can either bet with the public or bet against the public.
So one other question for you. So let's just say you bet the line on Tuesday, right? And it changes on
Your bet
Saturday.
it's time stamped from when you bet it.
So it's based on the line at that day.
So like the Commanders were minus or were plus 5.5. They're now at plus 7. So
Okay.
that's a 1.5 differential
That you gained by betting early.
Right. So now,
Okay.
like earlier, if the Cowboys won by a touchdown, it'd be a push right now, a touchdown and an extra point. If they won by 7, you would push the bet. Earlier, if you got them at plus 7.5 or plus 5.5 rather, and you took the Cowboys, they would have won that game.
They would have covered it.
They would have covered
Okay.
minus 5.5.
Okay. Just
So you
wanted to
got to
double check.
watch. Yeah, you got to watch where the line is moving. Get on them early is my take, and then if you see the line move to a line that you like, so let's say 3.5 is different than 3 because that field goal makes a difference.
Right.
So if a half point moves up in someone's favor, that's when you bet it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And then we were talking about the parlay.
Yeah.
And so I'll get back to that. So
Same
like,
game parlay.
yeah, same game parlay for. I'll do.
I mean, just do this.
Here's a
game-
3
just do
leg.
this-
Here's a 3 leg. I've got Las Vegas plus 7.5, Cleveland Browns money line, and Minnesota Vikings money line. That's a plus 522 bet. You take, and let's say I'd wagered $3 on it. I'm getting $18 back.
Okay.
And that's a great return. That's
5 times your money.
500% return on investment.
All right.
That's what you're looking for. Typically, when I'm bankrolling, just to give you guys an idea, how do you manage your money when you're doing this? Look, you got $100. I highly recommend 1% and 2% bet maximums. I don't care what your odds are. If you want to do good or bad, you do 1 or 2% because your ROI is always going to be mitigated to allow you to continue to make up what you miss out on.
Right.
You'd have to miss 50 to 60 bets in a row to go bankrupt. So you want to be able to track it. And the best way to track it is, okay, if I win $10 on over a weekend, I'm up 10%, right? So the next week I'm betting $11, right? And you try to do your ROI and look for at least a 4 or 5% return. That's what casinos get.
Okay.
Just giving you a little bankroll idea because you don't want to blow your load.
So you guys can ask those questions too in the chat too, about like, hey, what do you guys think? Do you like this bet? That's kind of one of the reasons why, because being in Ohio, all of us kind of play a little bit with this stuff. So we kind of want those questions and we're looking for those questions. So you guys are more than welcome to ask us those questions, what we think are favored and stuff like that. And I mean, Vegas kind of has the odds out there for you, but we also have the feelings and opinions on these games. And
Yeah.
we might have
Just like you do. We're average people. We like betting Bo's above average.
Some of us watch
That's why he's
football
doing it.
more
That's
than
why he's
most,
doing it.
The well, here's another thing that just one more takeaway on this. Just for your friends and your family's sake, you can sweat bets and you can get excited and you can get pumped up, but nobody else cares about your bets the way that you care about your bets.
Exactly.
So keep them, relative. If people ask, you can let them know what you but don't count other people's money. Don't ask them how much they got on it. Just root with your team. Have some gambling etiquette.
That's etiquette.
Just know some, just have some gambling etiquette. And you could say
Show
units.
the receipts.
Don't do it. That doesn't matter. I don't care how much you put on your game. Your bankroll's your bankroll. But if you want to tail me, you can tail me. If you want to fade me, you can fade me. I'm just a dumb degenerate.
And I will tell you this. I think one of the most. Honest to God. I think one
I'm
of
just
the
a dumb
funnest times I had
I
watching.
wasn't expecting you to say
Well,
that.
I think one of the funnest times I had watching football was in your basement, Ryan. When we were yelling at each other bets and the favors off our head. And we were making bets with each other
Literally
with like $20 bets.
How much Chipotle did
And we
you
were
lose?
like 2 for 1, 1 for 2, 1 for 5. I think Ryan ended up $8 up. I think.
It was
I think it was like
dollar
$8
bet
up.
Justin Jefferson scores this drive. Dollar bet that
And Bo would ask 2 to 1.
Right.
Like he would ask.
Give me some odds, baby. I get some odds.
Well, there was going to be odds. Like we would just say, like Nick
Punt.
Chubb and the Browns were on the 5-yard
Drive,
line,
field
the end
goal.
zone, and
3
one of us would say
1 on
3 to
Jefferson
1
scoring.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. See?
If I lose, I pay up $3.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
It was a blast. It was probably some of the most fun I had watching football because it was just hyped. All of a sudden, last second, boom, we were in it. All right, so anybody has questions, please ask because Bo knows, like I said, more about betting. When it's me and Steve here, we can give you the basics, but Bo can probably dig
I'm
in deep with
excited
you
the
guys.
Bo's Bets segment is back.
We're looking forward
Should've
to
never
it.
Jazzed
You can now
about that.
live bet them, and like that's the biggest thing is like if you I get more fun being in a group if we get like tailing bets and we're all rooting for the same thing and we all win, and it doesn't matter how much, but if we all win, and that's the best. So if we could come up together and create a parlay, the Deep Threat
we should do that
podcast
every week. We
at
should do
parlay.
We should do a five
What's
bet
your
parlay.
lock? What's your lock? What's your lock?
And then each of us should have our lock, and we should just lock it in as a parlay.
I love
I,
that.
I have a
that
7-game.
Ryan, are you a
Yeah,
gambler?
you do. Psychopath.
You're
on
not
here.
because I think that
we can all put $1 down.
Yeah,
and
I-
$5.
I'm just talking.
Yeah.
I'm asking Ryan if he's a gambler because if he's not, right, the odds of change in differential between 5 and like 3, right? So like what I'd like to do is like whoever's hitting, like and their bets are good, you got to rotate guys in and out because like if you suck and your bet keeps failing on us, then we don't want you to be in our parlay and our parlay misses. So like it's got to be a thing where like I feel like there should be like 3 of us that are doing a 3-legger because five legs is hard to hit, dude. I don't care what you could bet money line with all your majors and one of them is going to get upset.
Hey, I did do a 10-team parlay when I was in Vegas.
Did you? How did it hit?
Yeah. I put $50 down. I won like $2,200 or something.
I paid.
And that's the only betting he's ever done.
Honestly, God,
I
We're
did
not
pretty
gamblers.
damn good in Vegas.
No.
but we're
when
not
we went.
gamblers, though. Me and you.
I'm not.
Brandon,
I just did
Brandon
it,
hit
though.
on a 10-legger or a 9-legger the weekend you guys went to the Browns game.
That was a long, dude. That day pissed me off. I don't
he
even
bet
wanna
like
talk about it.
he bet like
I broke my
$3.
rib. Came home and he broke my rib that day.
Oh, jeez.
All right, so that we're just gonna move on. We're gonna get into the games this week. This is gonna be we're gonna switch things up for you guys. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do our we're gonna go to each person and probably one person's gonna kind of give us their takeaways for the game, and we're gonna go to everybody and do our money line essentially and the score. So we're gonna essentially say who's winning and pick our score. But we are gonna go with one person and kind of give the takeaways for each team and everything. So let's go right into the Saturday games, Johnny.
Don't know why it
We
was.
back?
All
You
right,
hear
try,
us?
try, sorry guys,
Start again?
We mixed our mute.
Yeah, we'll go over the pick'ems real good.
Okay, so this is the Kansas City Las Vegas game, and this is per Ryan.
So I have the Raiders. We'll start with them first, and it starts with don't abandon the run with Jacobs. 8th best because teams could tend to fall behind and they'll want to not run the football, even though Jacobs is used in the pass game. But 8th best in run block success win rate, 72%. 6-3 with 20 plus totes, and 3-1 with 25 plus totes. So Jacobs is a huge part of this offense. So I would not abandon the run. Get nasty on defense.
Get nasty.
They have to.
Max got to show up, baby.
They play the league's best QB, arguably the MVP this year. Raiders rank 30th in sacks with only 25.
Not great.
Raiders rank 29th against the pass, giving up 246 per game. Stay balanced, mistake-free football. 32 rush attempts, 34 pass attempts last week. They almost upset the 49ers. Took that game to OT. And 2 turnovers cost them the game. That's what it comes down to.
All right.
Turn over the football, you lose a football game.
Those were sit-em picks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the Chiefs, I just basically said, stick to the bread and butter. Mahomes, Kelsey, one of the best dynamic duos ever.
Yeah.
They both, Mahomes, 5,048 yards, 40 touchdowns this season. Kelsey's 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. Career high for Kelsey's 1,400.
I think he's like wide receiver 5.
Yeah, dude, he's nuts.
I think he is.
The Raiders suck against everything, so
They suck again.
they're 29th against the
don't have
pass,
that.
so Mahomes should just be nasty, Pressure Stidham. Find a way to get to Stidham. 49ers had 0 sacks last week.
Ooh.
So
wow.
Find a way to get to Stidham, right? Chris Jones is 21st in pass rush win rate, and that's first among defensive tackles. Chris Jones is for real.
Oh, yeah.
You also, if you want to, you can see his schlong if you wanted to. That is on the scouting combine video.
That was him?
In case you like that kind of stuff.
Oh, man. You haven't.
welcome.
Oh, no.
That's where you go with that? A peen joke?
I mean, I got. What's funny is everyone's seen that video. You just don't know it's Chris Jones.
Yeah.
He gets up. He's like,
Jones.
Thank God
my
I
dick
have
fell
not
out.
seen that video.
That's my buddy Shane's favorite. That's the only thing he remembers about Chris Jones. You bring up his name, he goes, "Isn't that the guy with the dong on the scouting combine
He
when he fell over?"
immediately dropped
Yeah, that's
down.
him.
Snickers and 2 milk duds.
Well said.
Hold on. What
well
was
said.
that? God.
It's irrelevant to the
Adam Sandler
conversation,
movie?
but
I
I'm
love
just being
candy.
Well, the Adam Sandler movie. Did you see that guy's balls?
what?
I love candy.
Anyways, all right. So
Madison.
number 3, time of possession battle. Game doesn't mean much. Honestly, I think the Chiefs should just. They're gonna do. They just should win this game. They really should.
You think Mahomes gets his 480 yards to pass Manning's record?
I mean, that's a lot, but it's possible.
52 and a half.
Like his average is like 323.
Yeah, I can see the Chiefs easily scoring 30, 35 points this week. He needs how much? Almost 500 yards?
Yeah.
Oh God.
He needs like 100.
I mean, you need a shootout in order to get that.
And do you think they're going to have it, though? Do you think that's
It's
even
possible.
on the table?
I mean, my final score is Chiefs 30, Raiders 21. So it could be a close game where they're and the way to beat it, you can either go either way with the Raiders. You can run the ball or you can pass it. Their defense is trash.
Well, they're going to have to do one thing if they're down by 3 scores.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll have to run the football. Pacheco could be a decent start this week. I mean, I'm starting Pacheco. You can't not start McKinnon. So
Love it.
So
That's what I got
Well, that's
for
for
this.
anybody that has a Super Bowl in Week 18, which is
that yes, I mean, if you're
Yeah.
playing a championship week
Yeah.
18, then
Yeah, if your league's pushed it back, that was a whole bunch of.
yeah. I mean, this game
debacleness.
still has meaning.
You can always. So when we're talking about the games, Johnny, you can always put up the our FanDuel lineups that we're picking this week for each of us.